One thing that I had to really take the time to sit down and understand is the fact that it doesn't matter how fast you're moving in life if you're moving in the wrong direction. Oftentimes, we can put ourselves in a position where we may feel like speed aligns with quality. The more that we're able to get done, at some point, we'd assume that we'd have to see results. And this just isn't always the case. And for somebody like me, I really had to come to terms with the fact that direction is more important than speed. You don't have to go fast in order to get somewhere. I know it can be easy to compare your lives to everyone else's and how quick this person may be reaching this point of success. But all this form of comparison does is put you in a position to feel low about yourself, low about your accomplishments and the things that you may be working on at this very moment. But at some point, you'll realize it does not matter how fast you're moving if you're moving in the wrong direction. And this form of hustling without clarity just leads to burnout. There was a moment in my life where I used to just attack everything. I used to think that just because I was working at a progressive rate, getting things done quickly, that I was ultimately going to benefit. I wasn't necessarily focused on where I was going. I was focused on how quickly I can get things done. And that's the key takeaway with this, is that we need to turn our attention away from speed to take the time to understand exactly where it is that we're heading. This form of moving fast that so many people focus on doesn't do anything but just get you lost quicker. It puts you in a position where you eventually hit a dead end and you realize like, man, what have I been doing all this time? I've been putting my eggs in so many different baskets to the point where I've realized that nothing that I'm doing at this very moment is a true representation of my potential. All you may have been doing is just spreading yourself thin. And this form of speed that you may have been focused on this entire time is more about ego. Direction itself is about purpose. Many people, including myself, rush to feel productive. They rush to feel like they're getting a lot of things done. But purpose itself, it's slow, it's intentional, and it's something that'll beat speed any day. And one important thing to just keep in mind is the fact that I can't sit here and tell you how many times I've been lost in my life. How many times where I may have hit rock bottom when I thought that I had everything figured out, moving in a progressive rate, hoping that at some point I'd get rewarded for certain things. But I was lacking one thing, and that was that sense of direction. I was not aligned with my purpose. And it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing. If you are not doing things that actually serve you and makes you feel whole at heart, at some point, you're going to reach a dead end where you feel like, what am I doing? Am I even making the right decisions for my life? I don't feel that sense of passion for the career choice that I may have chose, and now is the time for me to switch careers and do something differently. No matter how hard you work, if your path is not aligned with who you're becoming, it will not fulfill you. You cannot outpace misalignment. With this life that we're given, with this life that we're blessed with, we have to learn how to be very intentional, because each and every step that you take, it will have a direct impact on your life, whether you realize it or not. But slow growth in the right direction truly does beat fast growth with no aim. And the question that you should ask yourself at this very moment is, what does momentum mean to me? Because momentum itself is meaningless if you're chasing the wrong purpose. It's meaningless if you're chasing the wrong version of success. And when you take the time to break everything down, you realize that direction is the one thing that gives your actions context. It makes things deeper than what they are, because any of us can go out and do something. Any of us can just have a thought or an idea of something that we want to go pursue in life, whether we're passionate about it or not, and take the time to actually go get it done. But the ones that actually survive and make it long term are the ones that have that burning desire, that true passion. They add that context on whatever it is that they're doing to make it as deep as it needs to be, to make it something that's much more worthwhile. But every sacrifice that you make, every habit that you have, every single moment makes sense when you know what you're working towards. You have to have that sense of direction no matter who you are. You do not have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have all the pieces to the puzzle, but you do need to have a general idea of what it is that you want out of life. Turn your focus away from trying to move fast. We're all growing and expanding at different rates, so you cannot compare yourself to the next person. Your focus should be primarily on getting better each and every single day, one step at a time. Comparison itself truly is a thief of joy. It's one thing that'll strip you from any sense of true purpose that you may have within yourself, because you may be looking at the next person's version of success and think that you're not worthy of that because you're not living up to their standards or expectations that they may have. And it's just not true. You are very much so capable of it. You just have a different script than them. You're a completely different person. And so many people get discouraged because they get put in this position where they go through a quiet season. They go through a quiet season where they may feel like they're lost or they're confused, and they take this as a form of defeat. But you gotta understand that these seasons aren't being wasted. They're being used for your realignment, helping to get you to that next level. Sometimes life slows you down on purpose so that you can rethink everything, so that you can take the time to understand what path you truly should be going on. Because like I said before, so many times we get put in a position where we're rushing things and we feel like, okay, well, I have my mind made up, so let me just do this and do that and do that. And then we realize at the end that a lot of the things that we were pursuing or the things that were getting our attention really just didn't serve us. So this season that you may be in right now, whether you're confused, whether you may lack direction or just been going at a progressive rate, no matter what, you got to understand that it's for the greater good. Being conscious is the first step. The next is making those adjustments. But truth be told, going nowhere fast leads you nowhere. You might be busy, but take the time today to ask yourself, are you building the lifestyle that you ultimately want to live? And if the answer is no, then something has to change. You may have to change a sense of direction, but when you do, remember to slow things down. Be very intentional. Understand exactly what it is that you're pursuing, so it's not as easy for you to get off track. Because one thing that we all know is the fact that speed is impressive. When you can do things at a progressive rate, yes, it is going to look good. But direction, that's transformative. Not everybody has that sense of direction. You know why? Because it's something that changes your life significantly once you acquire it. Anybody can look like they're making moves, but not everybody has the results to show that they've actually transformed and grown from the things that they've went through. It's always going to be better to walk the right path slowly than to run down the wrong path. The one thing that I've learned about true progress itself is it's rooted in alignment, not velocity. It's rooted in how much of an impact it has on your life, ways that it shifts your way of thinking mentally, and how you're starting to move now. And one thing that I learned about heading in the right direction is it truly does give your pain purpose. The things that you go through, the way that you feel when you may have certain hardships, or you just may hit bumps in the road where you may be confused, it is fuel to the fire. It makes you feel good when you can overcome a challenge, knowing that it's something that you're truly passionate about and it's something that you want to do with yourself. The only thing left at that point is just being able to see it through, being able to understand that it's for the greater good, and you will come out on the other side wiser than you've ever been. And ultimately, when you know where you're headed, even the hard days become a part of your story. They turn you into the beast that you need to be, that you can't shy away from the stories that you're going to be able to tell people that's going to do the same thing as you, that need guidance in the future. If you have to take a path that you may not have seen anyone else walk on, just to share your story or your personal experience, then be the one that does it. Be the one that has that sense of courage and takes that leap of faith, not knowing how something can turn out, but you know that if it does work out, you'll change the story for so many people in significant ways. And that's what it's about. And one thing that I truly do love about purpose is the fact that you don't need to rush anything that's rooted in that. Anything that's truly for you, anything that's supposed to be in your life, you will not have to rush it. What's meant for you will always unfold in due time, whether it makes sense to you or not right now. Your job is only to stay aligned, not anxious, understanding that everything will play out exactly how it needs to play out, as long as you just keep going. But take the time this week to focus on direction, not speed. Focus on being intentional with your actions, and not only that, but just your words as well. And I promise you, each and everything in your life will pan out exactly how it's supposed to. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.